All right, I have Smilin Sam Alvey back on the show, who'll be fighting next on July the 31st on UFC on ESPN 28 against Roman Kopylov. Sam, how are you?
I am feeling wonderful, my friend. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm really excited to see you climb back into the octagon. This is a good matchup here for you, and you got your buddy Sean Strickland headlining the card. So this camp must be going pretty well with the two of you guys in there. How's it been going thus far?
It's been going great. Yeah, Sean's the headliner. Actually, my teammate Ashley Yoder, she's I think just before me. So I got a lot of love going into the octagon this time.
So as far as camp goes, I know you're out there in California. Dan Henderson's there. As far as specific training partners, how has that been? Has it been any different, or has it been pretty much the usual suspects?
I've traveled a little bit more. I've made it out to Las Vegas this time to actually train with Sean a little more. So I went out there for a week. I've had plenty of partners out here. Tarek Safadine, he's been back in whooping my butt. I've had no shortage of people trying to hurt me.
Right. So Sean is in Vegas, and your home gym in California. I'm sure you're seeing, Fernando Gonzalez and Jared Vandera quite a bit. How are they looking? I know Jared has a fight coming up in the not too distant future.
Yeah, I think Jared fights in like 4 months or something. It's a tough fight, but he's doing real well. Um, and then who? Fernando. I think Fernando fights in about a month from now too. So I've seen both of them a ton. They've helped me a lot with the end of my camp, particularly.
Fantastic. I did see on your Facebook that you guys held some AMI tryouts fairly recently. I think it was like in the June timeframe. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and your involvement in it?
Yeah, so for the last 6 or 7 years, I've run the Team Quest amateur team, and we've been very successful. We've had many state title holders that have gone on to have pretty successful, not UFC yet, they're still young, but professional careers. And June 19th, I think it was, we had our latest addition to the amateur team. So we put everyone together. We got probably 35 people trying out. We ended up picking about 9 guys and girls to join our team and be part of it.
How gratifying is that for you, as a coach to see them thrive and, evolve with their skill set?
It's so nice seeing that what has worked for me works for others as well. And as much as I will add my training into it, seeing what our other coaches add to them and seeing how they progress through the amateur ranks to the professional realm, it's really a lot of fun watching these guys evolve like that.
Speaking of fun too, you have a lot of fun on TikTok. It seems like you have a pretty mean TikTok game. So tell people where to follow you, and I guess what your plans are for maybe generating some more content here moving forward.
Yeah, shoot. So I'm on TikTok. I love TikTok. And it's the same ad as all my other social media. It's at Smilin Sam, SMILENSIM. And I have so much fun on there. I give a lot of behind the scenes looks at my sport. If you have any questions, I a ton of fan interactions. I'll show you what I do with my when I fight backstage, when my team fights backstage, when anything happens in the UFC, I tell my TikTok first.
Yeah, well, you definitely have a good following there, and on all your social medias for that matter. I did want to get your take on your most recent fight with Julian Marquez. It didn't really go your way, obviously. What is the takeaway moving forward? You're a veteran in the sport. You've been through some ups and downs. So I guess what are you processing mentally here moving forward from that fight?
It was a hell of a fight. I did some things right, and then I got caught. He hit me pretty hard. I shot, and then he choked me. Woo! I would have preferred to win, but not tapping worked out pretty well for me. People loved that. uh, it's really I got to move forward. I wasn't ready for the size of the octagon. There's the pay-per-view size, there's the fight night size, and then smaller than that is the Apex size, and I didn't know that. I got into the octagon, and it was small. It was the smallest cage I fought in shoot probably a decade. So when I going into this next fight, I've trained in smaller cages. I've really prepared myself to be able to control the center a little more. He pushed me back too much, and he took advantage of it. And power to him.
So you talk about controlling the center and not being pushed back. Like, what kind of training techniques have you been doing in this camp to prevent that from happening, here in this fight?
I've just cut off my octagon. At Dan Henderson's gym, he has a full size pay-per-view sized octagon, and I cut it off. Literally put a rope down the middle of it so I can only use half of it. And I feel that that's really going to give me a little bit of an advantage when I get into the small Apex octagon again.
Are you feeling extra pressure for this fight? I mean, you've been around for a long time. You're a fan favorite, but the last few fights haven't gone your way. It's been a little while since you've gotten a win inside of the octagon. Are you feeling that pressure, to go in and get a win and get an emphatic one in this fight?
The pressure, no, I don't feel any more than usual. At the end of the day, it's a fight. I need to win, but I need to win my last one too, and the one before that. So no added pressure, but I do understand the importance of this fight. I understand that it is a make or break moment, and I understand that I've proven I've belonged in the UFC. Now it's time to prove I belong to stay in the UFC, and that is my intent. Is I'm going to go out there and I'm going to hurt him. I'm going to try and finish him. I'm going to finish him. And it's a fight I have to win. I understand that, and I'm going to go out there and have a good time doing it.
What's your current contractual situation with the UFC? Is this the last fight on your deal, or do you have any more?
Well, the contracts they vary because at the end of the day they can cut me whenever they want. I could win my next 4 and they could cut me after whenever they want, and that's pretty much everyone. So the contracts don't really matter on my end. I just fight until they don't want me to fight anymore, because they could always cut me whether I'm winning or losing.
You do realize, though, that you have such a fan-friendly style. Like, obviously, the UFC has wanted to keep you around because of how exciting of a fighter you are. Do you always kind of have that mentality going into a fight?
Yeah, I want to be a fighter people want to watch to see. I'm a fighter's fighter. I think Cowboy Cerrone and I are 2 of the last fighters in the world that are like that. It's more important to us to be willing to fight, to go out there and give a good fight, than it is to win. As important as it is to win, it is more important to be that guy that people want to see fight. And that's the kind of fighter I have always been and will always be.
So talk about this transition back down to 185, no more 205. How difficult is that for you to maybe stay away from some foods and keep your weight in a certain range?
It's never easy, but it's never too hard. I've done it before. I've done it most of my career. So it's you got to have the dedication to do it. As much as I enjoyed being able to cheat a little bit at 205, 85, I just keep myself honest and no cheat meals anymore.
What is the go-to cheat meal when you do have one? What, like, post-fight win here, when you get this win, what are you hoping to have?
Cereal, all of it. Just you give me cereal, boxes and boxes of it.
Okay. You have a favorite specific kind, or is it just all
It's
of it?
between Captain Crunch and Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Ooh, 2 good ones. I like where your head's at right there. I did want to get your fight pick on the soon to be made middleweight championship between Adesanya and Robert Whittaker. They fought before. Obviously, Whittaker lost the belt to Izzy. I really can't wait for this fight. It's probably the fight I'm looking forward to the most out of any other fights that are going to be made later on in this year. Who do you see winning that rematch when it does happen?
I got to be careful with my picks because I have this power that whoever I pick to win the main event, I'm wrong. Like I'm at like 98% wrong on main event picks. I don't see Izzy losing though. Saying it, is Whittaker is one of the greatest that has ever been, and I really do think he is. But I think Izzy's got it. Izzy's just going to be able to control the range too well. And Whittaker, it wouldn't surprise me if Whittaker won, but I think I'm picking Izzy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. And then you got the old veteran here, Glover Teixeira, getting that light heavyweight shot against Jan Blachowicz. What's your pick on that one?
I could see Teixeira winning it. I could. His conditioning is pretty good. He could always wrestle. He's not as big, but nobody's quite as big as Jan is. It's an exciting fight. Like from a technical standpoint, it's a fight that I don't really know who's gonna win. If Jan is the overdog, I probably won't put any money on him. But if Teixeira is a sizable underdog, I think I could see myself spending some money on a bet.
Yeah, he's a grizzled veteran. Can't go wrong there. I did want to get your take too. You talked about it a little bit, going back to the Apex with the size of the octagon, but you're one of them guys that feeds off of that energy of the fans because they love watching you fight. I remember when you came to my hometown of Bangor, Maine, and everyone went nuts when you were in there fighting, and you got the big win. How disappointing is it for you to not have that crowd and that energy for this fight?
Oh, I'm so sick of this COVID bullshit. I just want to fight in front of people. I wouldn't have a career if it weren't for people coming to watch my fights, and that they're taking that from me. They're taking that from us as fighters. I just want to get in front of people again, and I enjoy doing it. I love fighting in front of the audience, and I look forward to our when our fearless leaders say we're smart enough to make the decision ourselves.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, you talked about your opponent here a little bit. You believe you're going to finish him. He's 0-1 inside of the UFC octagon. He got a RNC loss to Carl Robertson in his only time inside of the UFC octagon. So when you look at this matchup stylistically, how do you feel it favors you?
One, I'm going to be bigger than him. I'm a big 85er, and he really is a small 85er. And I think the size could play a big difference. If you look at his fight against Carl Robinson, Robinson had the range, had the distance, had everything but the speed. So I got to be careful. He's a fast guy, but I think I'm going to be able to get a read on him. I think I'm going to be able to keep him at a distance and do everything I want to do to him from there.
Do you believe it's a TKO win, knockout, or do you think you're going to sub him?
Oh man, I would love a one hitter quitter again. It's been a minute since I've had one of those, but I would settle for a TKO.
Okay. All right. Well, Sam, I always appreciate you giving me a few minutes of your time, my man. Again, July 31st, Smilin Sam Alvey, Roman Kopylov on UFC on ESPN 28. It's a pleasure talking to you, my man. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media. And if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Yeah, hit me up on social media. I love talking to fans. TikTok is my favorite. Twitter is, I hate Twitter, but follow me there too. I'll comment there. Instagram's a good time too. Hit me up. I'm at Smilin Sam.